Hello everybody. This video will cover percent of change. Percent of change is when you have something and then later on you have a different amount of it. How much or by what percent did it increase or decrease? That's what the percent of change is. So what you had originally was small, like say you put $50 into the stock market and then later it increased, you have $70 in the stock market, we'd call that a percent of increase. If you wanted to find a decrease, maybe a good example would be you weighed 250 pounds and then a few months later you weighed 235 pounds. Now you weigh less than you did originally, so that would be a percent of decrease that you would be figuring out. To figure it out, you will set up a proportion just like we did before. The proportion is right here. Remember before we had P over 100 is equal to A over B? Well, now P over 100 is equal to the amount of change or increase or decrease, that is the amount of change that goes up there, divided by the original amount, or the B, instead of B, it's the original amount. So what we have to do is just a little bit more math than what we did before, but it's really minor. We're going to start by setting the problem up the same, P over 100. The difference is now I have these two numbers that were given to me, 512 and 320. We have to subtract those two numbers and put that up here because we're looking for how much did it increase or decrease? What was the amount of the increase or decrease, or the amount of change? Then you want to put that over the original amount. So when you look at this sentence, it went from 512. That indicates that 512 was the original. So before I can actually do the cross products that come up with the equation, I have to do 512 minus 320, which is 192. That's over 512. Then I cross multiply and I get, 512p right here. And then 100 times 192 gives me 19,200. Divide both sides by 512. And here I get P is equal to 37.5%. So it decreased 37.5%. Not too bad, right? All right, the next problem, and you're going to run into these two. You're going to say, all right, well, identify it as an increase or a decrease, and then find the percent of change. All right, well, this isn't bad because originally you had 20, now you have 15. You have less than you did before, so it's a decrease. And then to find a percent, start with P over 100 is equal to, subtract the two numbers, put it over the original. So I have P over 100 is equal to 5 over 20. Cross multiply, I get 20P is equal to 5,000. Divide by 20 on both sides. And P then is equal to 25%. Okay? Not too bad. Sometimes they'll be given to you just like this. Okay? And then you have to find. Now, if you look, these are both decreases because they both started with a higher number and ended up with less. So we're not going to do the whole identify as increase or decrease. We're just going to find the percent of change. So what I would like you to do is pause the video and try and find the percent of change on your own. Okay, this is P over 100 would be equal to 75 minus 35 over the original, which is 75. This would be P over 100 then is equal to 40 over 75. Our equation then would be 75P is equal to 4,000. Divide both sides by 75. And P is equal to, what happens here? Now look what happens if you divide this in your calculator. You get 4, 1, 2, 3. We're going to divide by 75. And we get that. Whenever you get something like that, I just tell everybody go to the tenths place. So we would write 53.3%. You could put that little bar thing above if you want, or you could change this to a fraction if you know how and you want to. Most people just write 53.3% though. Now, the next one, P over 100 is equal to, subtract the two numbers. I know some of you guys are looking at this and go, I can just tell that's 50%. Great. And then that would be over the original, which is 102. P over 100 is equal to 51 over 102. we get 102p is equal to 5,100. Divide by 102, divide by 102, and p is equal to 50%. Exactly what some of you mental geniuses thought it would be. All right, let's move on. Let's do some increases. Here are two increases. Excuse my cough. Go ahead and pause the video and try these two increases, please. All right, this one, p over 100 is equal to, subtract the two numbers, 28 minus 16 over the original, which is 16. This would be p over 100 is equal to 12 over 16. That would give me the equation of 16p is equal to 1,200. Divide both sides by 16, and p is equal to 75%. On to the next one. Now, original from 35 to 91. I don't know if you saw this, but that would be over 100%, because a 100% increase would bring you up to 70. So if you got over 100, don't worry, you didn't do anything wrong. That's correct. P over 100 is equal to 91 minus 35 over the original, which is 35. P over 100 is equal to 56 over 35. Gives me 35p is equal to 5,600. Divide both sides by 35, and p is equal to 160%. Again, it's over 100% because if you just doubled this, 100% increase, it would be 70. And you see one with 35 to 91, so it's going to be over 100%. Now let's try it in a word problem, shall we? Pause the video, write this one down. I want this in your notes. And then try and come up with the answer to this. And remember how to answer a word problem, please. Okay, this one, we have p over 100. We have to subtract the two numbers that are given to us. So we have 25 and 36 are the two numbers. So I have 36 minus 25 over the original. Now the original is going to be right here in 1981. So that's going to be the 25. Okay, and we have p over 100 is equal to 11 over 25. We have 25p is equal to 1100. Divide both sides by 25. And p is equal to 44%. Excuse me again. Now, looking at the problem, you said by what percent the number of reptile species changed from 1981 to 2001. So the way that you would answer this is you would say the number, because remember we answer word problems in the form of a sentence. The number of endangered, and threatened species. That's supposed to be an either. There we go. Or we could say reptiles or species, I guess, increased 44%, that's significant, from 1981 to 2001. Okay? That is all, my friends. Goodbye.